Welcome back to Bambi Builds for episode 58. Today we are still in the swamp and we are turning our attention to this witch's hut, which is going to make a nice little farm. Actually, it's going to be a very big farm. We will need lots of building blocks to get us started, so let's quickly head back home. Our main building block is going to be the mossy stone brick, so we'll need to take a lot of this cobblestone, smelt it into stone. We'll need tripwire hooks and plenty of string, a few witchy decorative items, moss of course to add to our stone bricks, some spruce wood to match the original design of the witch hut, and we're probably going to need a lot more things that I haven't thought of yet, but I think this is enough to get us started, so back to the swamp we go. Now let's set up our workspace. Make the area nice and safe. Now we can take a little look at this witch's hut before we tear it down, because it would be nice to somehow work this original design into our final build. Preserve a little bit of history. It's very simple, very cute, made of oak logs and spruce planks. And now we're going to mark out the area where witches can spawn. We are following a shulkercraft tutorial, but we're going to add our own spin to it. So we start by marking the corners, 1 block diagonal from the fence posts, and then around the back we go 1 block diagonal from the oak logs, like that. Then we're going to connect them all together. So that's our middle layer. And then we want a bottom layer with a 2 block gap in between. Then our top layer goes above with a 2 block gap in between. And that shows us exactly where the witches can spawn. And now we can remove the hut. So let's start by working on the first platform. This is 7 blocks by 9 blocks, and we are adding an extra row of smooth stone. Then we build up 1 block along the sides and also along the back. These trapdoors are going to be holding and releasing water. For the redstone, we want to set up tripwire all across the entire platform. So whenever a witch spawns, she'll be standing in the string, activating the tripwire hook, and we will attach redstone to that. So we only need the redstone along the back to power the trapdoors, and then along one side to connect it to the tripwire. Now we'll cover up the water here and test it out. Alright, so whenever a witch spawns, she will be flushed off the edge. Now we can build 2 more spawning platforms with the exact same design. So once the witches are pushed off, we want them to land in a water channel. So we have 1 water source block at each end. Quickly cover this up so it's nice and dark inside and the witches can't escape. So they'll get pushed into the middle here. Then we add a sign to stop the water from flowing, and the witches will end up down there. Now to test it out, we need to make sure it's nice and dark. That should do it. And now we fly all the way up to where the AFK platform is supposed to be. Somewhere up here. And now we will float down and see if that worked. Oh, it sounds like it worked. That's so creepy. Yep, there they are. Okay, cool. So we've got some witches. Now we're going to dig down to where they are so we can take care of them. Oh, hello. So this is what the farm is supposed to look like, but instead of having to hit them over and over again, you have a rail with a bunch of minecarts on top, and then the witches die to entity cramming. But what the tutorials don't mention is just how noisy that farm is, and I am not a fan of that. And I'm also not a fan of AFK. So this is where we take the design, say thank you very much, and then do our own thing with it. So this is my plan. I'm not pressing any buttons and I'm being launched up. So let me first show you how that works. The witch lands, we have one water source block, it flows all the way down here. The fence post is important, it somehow makes it faster for mobs to flow right through. And then we have our bubble column with water source blocks on top of soul sand. And then this one block gap here changes the way the water flows, and it just makes it all run smoothly. This is the best design I've ever seen, and I've linked a video in the description if you want to learn more about how it works. Otherwise, just copy what I've done here. So why do we want the witches to go up? Well, actually, I want to send them all the way up to our AFK platform. Then we can deal with them up there, which will give us something to do while we wait. So how high do we go? We want to stay within 128 blocks of the witches at all times, otherwise they will despawn. So this is why level 57, so we don't want to go higher than level 185. So let's grab some building blocks, and we are going to use 1.5 stacks of ice, which will take us up to level 153. That means we will have to light up some caves underground to make the farm more efficient, but at least our AFK platform won't be quite so high, because we need to build around it and somehow make it look good. So this doesn't feel too high, we still have a decent view of the swamp to enjoy while we're up here. The ice has already started melting, I think because it's right near a light source block. So we'll need to build around it. And then we're going to keep going, building up all the way around the ice, all the way to the top of our tower. That was easy. Now the next step is to break all the ice and turn it into water. So we'll use Silk Touch to remove the glass, but it's important to not use Silk Touch to break the ice. Okay, let's get in here, lock ourselves in, and now we dig. Okay, that was dark and scary, but we made it. Now let's float back down and test it out. That was embarrassing. Okay, so I'm a witch, I've fallen, I'm not pressing anything, just getting pushed through. Up we go. And here I am at the top. So originally I thought about having a killing chamber up here with an item sorting system and everything, but that takes up a lot of space and I want this build to look cute rather than bulky. So instead of killing the witches up here, we are going to swipe them with a sword and basically push them down a chute. So then they can die from fall damage. So this is where we stand. There's a barrel and hopper to catch any items in case the witches do die up here. This needs to go here. Nice. So we'll swipe the legs with a sword and then they fall down there. So that's my little idea. Before we go any further, we need to make sure we can actually make it look good. Lots and lots of mossy stone bricks for this build. This is the drop chute. And then at the bottom, we want to set up a temporary chest and a hopper pointing into it. Then we'll close that up. And now I really want to make sure the top of the tower looks cute. So let's go up, set up camp, and do some building and decorating. I'm trying to go for a swampy, witchy vibe here with a simple, tall tower with a bit of a witch's hat on top. And then instead of building a big box around our AFK platform, we are just going to stand on the roof of this little side tower. I think it looks pretty cute. Now that that's done, let's give it a test drive. Just need to turn off the lights, close up the farm, and then we will fly up. One rocket doesn't quite get us there, unfortunately. Now let's see if we get a witch. Yes, it's working! Let's take a look at what's happening down there. We'll turn on night vision. They're spawning. Water is pushing them down. Down they go. And up they go. Then we just hit them a little bit, push them down the chute, and let's go see what's happening at the bottom. You can hear them floating up. Oh, yep. Drop chute is definitely working. And look at all those items. So we have 8 different items that we'll need to sort out. We will build an automatic sorter and storage system, but first we need to do a little bit of caving to light up any spawn areas underground. What was that? That was so creepy looking. Alright, let's place a bunch of torches so we can figure out how to get out. Go see this. Oh, it's a swampy skeleton, of course. The legs just look so creepy. Alright, we got 3 of them. Lovely. Oh, another one. Perfect. Now we will work our way through this mine shaft and place a bunch of torches. got them all, and our farm should be running much more efficiently because mobs will only be able to spawn inside the witch farm, and only witches can spawn in there. Let's give it another test run. I think that was working a lot faster, yup. And now we have plenty of items, so we can start on the storage system. But first we need to figure out where to put it. And to do that, we need to figure out what this build is actually going to look like. So I'm thinking the best way to make this really tall tower look a little less tall is to lift up the ground a little bit. So I'm thinking we build a mountain here. It will cover up the giant witch farm, and then we'll build a cute storage house on top. So let's start off by clearing out some space and chopping down some trees. Almost done. It's just missing one thing, and our timing is perfect because that is a full moon. So we are off to find a black cat, which has a 50% chance of spawning in a newly generated village on the night of a full moon. So we're off to find some unexplored areas of the map so we can generate a new village. And of course, it will be easy to find our way back thanks to our swamp compass. Alright, here is village number 1. I guess we just go down and walk around and see if we can find a black cat. It's a very cute village. Okay, the cat's probably not going to be inside. Oh. It's not black. There's probably only going to be one cat in each village, right? I think so. So let's go find another one. Here's one. We definitely haven't been here before. That is a white cat. Okay. Moving on. Here's another village. And that is another white cat. That lava is still generating, so we definitely haven't been here before. This is cute. Like a little gingerbread village. White cat again. I think this village is our last shot because the moon is leaving. And no good. Okay, plan B. We are back at the swamp, which is not far from home, where we already have a black cat. So let's quickly duck back home. It's about 4 rockets away. Here we are, home sweet home. Oh, feel that frame rate drop. Never used to have any issues with that until the most recent update. And here we are. There's our black cat. Let's see if we can get another. Oh, nice! So I think the best way to transport the little kitten is by boat. And we're going to try and make the boat fly. Okay, we're ready to go. Nice and easy. Okay, she's still behind us, can hear the meows. Yep, still with us. So cute. Oh, I think we lost her. Yep, we lost her. Here she is. I think we should be able to just take the boat all the way to the swamp. That will be much safer. It's going well so far. Dead end here. Might try to fly again. We don't have enough scaffolding to make this work. Maybe we'll just walk for a while. Well, this is going well. Back into the water. Just need to quickly dig a little pathway through here. Hope that creeper doesn't see us. Lovely. Oh, that's the swamp. Oh, we're here. Lovely. It's very spooky. Oh, there's our witch tower. Oh, look at the mobs. Oh, they're everywhere. Oh, let's quickly dig our way through. Don't want to lose the cat now. Just need to get to the light. Okay, I think we're good. Back to safety. Here we are. Here's our little witch hut, which is looking a little too bright for my liking. Okay, come on in, kitty cat. Oh, please don't drown. Great. Come on in. Now, your name is Patchouli, but we can just call you Patch. And if you could just get into the corner, that would be great. Maybe you'll walk yourself into the corner. That would be nice. Oh, no, don't go this way. Oh, not in the water. Maybe she'll teleport to us if we go. Ah, yes. Perfect. That can be your spot. Very cute. So now it's time for the final tour. So in behind our witch hut is this big cave that we created by building a giant mountain. And there's our witch farm. Now, I don't want to go up through there just yet. I would like to start this tour at the very top. So I usually like to fly all the way up into the clouds, so all the mobs on the ground will despawn. And then I float back down to our platform. And I missed. There are already some witches here, so that's a good sign. And then we gotta knock them off. Very easy, very satisfying. And while we're up here, we know just how well the farm is working, rather than just sitting in a box and hoping for the best. So that's what I like about this type of farm. Occasionally I do accidentally hit them a little too hard and they do die up here and drop some items. So we just grab those and float down to our main entrance. So you can see where the witches have fallen. You can grab the XP and then we'll take all of those spare items and we'll throw them in there as well, because we want them to be automatically sorted. So when the witches die, they land there and all the items go into that hopper and into the sorting system. So this is our storage room. At the back here, you can see the item sorter working away, and all of the redstone is being automatically crafted into redstone blocks, which is super important because this farm generates a lot of redstone. You can see more items coming through now, all different ones being sorted. So we have 8 items. I have no idea what I'm going to do with them all, but I'm sure this will all come in handy in the future. Now for our potions, we seem to be getting potions of swiftness and healing. So that's what the witches were drinking after I hit them. If I were to somehow set them on fire, they would be drinking potions of fire resistance. Now that would be cool. So down here we of course have the big cave, and we are standing on the witch farm right now. We also still have access to this in case anything goes wrong and we need to get in there and fix it. Now this bubble column, occasionally you can see the witches fly past on their way to the top of the tower, which is super fun. Same thing up here, we can see them going up. And occasionally we see them coming down as well, because sometimes they just fall without even being pushed. It's so... it entertains me so much. Then we've just done a little bit of decorating. I wanted this build to feel like a really old witch's mansion that is slowly falling apart and sort of becoming one with nature. It's a little overgrown and mossy, and I think I've done pretty well, but there's still plenty of space to add things. Up the ladder we have a bit of a storage room and a nice view of the swamp. Love a bit of natural light. And then up the very top is where I've been sleeping, and I just love it up here. So nice and open. Definitely my kind of bedroom. Let's take a look at the outside of this build. I've added a few more towers up the top here, which actually didn't take too long at all. I'm very, very happy with the top. and this AFK platform. You might notice I built a couple of custom trees, which I haven't really done much of before, but I think they turned out pretty good. Not as hard as I was expecting. I did try really hard to make the build look good from all different angles, and I found myself adding so much detail to the terrain as I was building it. If I could do it again, I think I would just keep it as plain as possible and then add details in at the end once I had the shape down, because this has ended up a lot messier than I was expecting. But for a witchy palace in the swamp, I think it works. Thank you so much for joining me for today's episode of Bambi Builds. Next time we are still going to be in the swamp, so if you have some ideas for this witch tower, I am happy to add to it. Maybe we could move in a cleric, set up a netherwort farm, use it for trading. You guys always have really good ideas, so please share them in the comments below, and I will meet you back here soon.